Hello, welcome back to Only Pistols. Today we're having a look at a Hammerli Prinz. This is a 177 CO2 powered target pistol made by Hammerli from 1967 to 1970. It's got a number of quite interesting features to it, so let's have a look. Let's start by having a look at the markings. So on the side there you can see the serial number, CO2 to indicate its power source, and Hammerli. On the top, caliber 4.5177, and that's it. Let's have a look at the other side, but there's no other markings. So let's have a look at some of the features of the pistol. The grip is a one-piece moulded plastic grip, very much like Hammerli's Walther copies, the Olympia copies, so that very much that type of grip. It's got a nice thumb shelf to it, so it's very comfortable to use, definitely right-handed. Trigger, it's a fairly simple trigger. It's got a two-stage to it and it is adjustable, so you've got the adjustment screw up in there, so you can adjust it for weight. The sights, the rear sights, they're mounted onto the cylinder, is very much a rifle style sight, and you'll see why in a minute, and that also then leads to quite a short sight radius. Windage is drifting, so you drift the sight left and right, and elevation is taken care of by this sliding band here, which just leaves the rear sight up and down. Foresight is dovetailed in, and it's held in place by a clamp, and you can see there it's dovetailed in and held in, so that whole piece will come off if you undo that adjustment screw. So in theory you could put different sight elements in front as well, and serrated to help reduce glare. Otherwise, the main body is cast aluminium and goes all the way down into the grip, and pretty much all the rest of it is made of steel, which is then blued. So it's got two methods, or can fire two types of pellet. You can either fire a straight Diablo pellet, which you can add in via this loading tap here, so it's got a loading tap, so that is forward for inline, and then you turn it down to load, so that then opens the tap. And you can also add BBs, lead BBs, which go into this magazine in the front here, and you load those by pulling that lever down, locks into the side there, and then you can add BBs, which are then held under tension and fed into the barrel in line with the barrel. Loading CO2, you unscrew the cap on the back, and this takes standard 12-gram cartridges, not the smaller 8 grams that typically were used by Hammerli. So you take your CO2 capsule, nose first, into the carrier, and then screw the cap back on and screw that cap down. So there you go. CO2 still not being pierced. So the way this works, you pull this whole carrier back, and that's now got the CO2 cartridge in it, and when you pull the trigger, that allows that whole carriage to come forwards, and that's what pierces the CO2 capsule. So when you fire it again, that's now fully working. So what happens, the CO2 is now kept inside this carriage, inside this piece here. When you pull the trigger, that flies forwards and it knocks open a ball valve that releases some CO2 through into the chamber through here and directly in behind the pellet or the ball. So a very good system and very reliable, but you are looking at basically an open bolt type system where this is quite heavy and it's being held back on the trigger sear. So when you pull that trigger, that whole lot is flying forward. So there's an often inconsiderable amount of mass that's being released. So let's load a pellet. Let's start with a Diablo standard target pellet. So turn that lever down, standard pellet, nose first into there, drops in, turn it back so it's now in line, cocks and fires. Quite a healthy report on it. So to load BBs, now we'll talk about this before, but with Hammerli's, the best BBs I've found are the Gammo round balls. Other ones tend to be a bit smaller. These have good enough size that they don't rattle down the barrel. So to load it, pull the follower down, lock it off, and this is a replacement follower on this one. I do have the original, but it was broken off at some point in the past. So there you go, it's a replacement one, but it means the pistol can work. So then you can load 6 BBs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the last one there, you can just see it. And then you pull the lever round and just release it. And now the balls, the BB balls, are held up into the magazine, and they're held against the top of the barrel. So they're held in line. So with this one, we don't need to tip it down to gravity feed. These are held in line. So then to fire it, that's pulled back. And now each time you cock that, there you go. So 6 fired, and the last one just check. So there you are, that's firing the Hammerli Prinz. Either, as I said, repeated firing with BBs, or single fire from a tap loader set in. Yeah. What was it used for? Well, this was designed before the advent of formal target air pistol shooting. So, as with a lot of Hammerli's products, Hammerli mainly made target pistols, where they made powder pistols. So I think this was mainly being used as a trainer, either for target work, so actually just precision target shooting, so being used to seeing sights, alternatively for dueling type or timed exposure targets, where you needed to be able to fire 6 shots in line with a revolver or a semi-automatic pistol without having to actually go and reload each time. The idea would be that the target would face you, you'd lift the pistol up, fire 1 shot, target would then turn away, or the timer would go, and you'd then bring the pistol down, recock it at that point, so bring another ball into line, recock it, target turns towards you, lift, acquire sights, and fire. And when it does that, it's excellent. The sight radius is quite short, so for precision target work, it's not really that good. It's a bit short, but more than adequate for types of targets that are being used. Very good fun for knocking tin cans and falling plates over. So there you go, the Hammerli Prinz, a single or multi-shot CO2 powered 177 target pistol. If you've liked this, then please like and subscribe, share it if you can, and otherwise I'll see you again with another pistol sometime soon. Thanks, bye.